Well, today is a service with a difference. We are going to hear a little bit about the work of the 24/7 team at Burnside High. Nate, the team leader, came up with this idea of visiting churches to share with the churches about the work of 24/7, which is great because often we hear a little bit from Nathan and previously from Josh, who was involved. But it's great to have the whole team here with us. So we'll start off with Nate and the team sharing, and then a great privilege again to have Phil with us, and Phil will come and tell how wonderful these guys are, and also to talk about the Burnside High, and then we will pray for the Burnside High. I'm just looking, is Ravi around? Sorry? Oh, Sharon, you're leading the intercessions. Yep, okay. So after that, Sharon will then come and pray. So Nate and the team, would you like to come up and start?
Wow, this is cool. I've never stood on one of these before, so this is a dream come true. Oh, because my dad was an Anglican priest growing up, so I've always seen him doing it in the robe and stuff. And I was like, one day I'll be there. Kia ora, everyone. It's really good to be here. It's really a privilege to come here and share with you guys. We are the 24/7 youth workers at Burnside High. So my name is Nate. Over here we have Nathan, Sarah, which I think you guys are familiar with, and we have Jean and Marcus. And so yeah, we've been doing youth work at Burnside High. I've been doing it for 6 years now. But we're here today, and we really want to just share with you guys a little bit about what we do. I don't know if you know what we do. Most people don't. But also because you guys are actually a big part and a big reason why we can do what we do. You know, you guys are actually a huge support for us. Partly financially supporting part of Sarah and Nathan's. Actually, Sarah's starting next term, which is super exciting. Can we give a hand to Sarah? It's just a little tangent, but we've been praying for another female youth worker for, to be honest, almost 2 years, right? It's been a while, and yeah, we're really glad to have Sarah on board. Anyway, but yeah, you guys have been huge in supporting us. You guys kind of support a portion of your youth workers' pay, but also just supporting us in prayer. And Chris and Annika also on the trust, the Burnside Community Transformation Trust, which also oversees and manages us youth workers. And so yeah, we just wanted to come and share, give you guys a little nutshell of the work we do. And I actually have a little short video that is gonna magically pop up on the screen at some point that kind of helps briefly describe.
You could look at life like a weave.
Like a flax mat or a whareiki. There's a rangatahi or young person. There's a haropa or peers.
There's the whānau or family and hapori or community. Our youth workers are about helping young people find their place in the weave.
Pulling all the strands together to support our rangatahi.
We support the healthy development of young people.
Social, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, family and culture. We work to help young people identify and develop their strengths. We encourage them to reach their full potential. 24/7 Youth Work operates as a partnership between churches and schools within a local community.
Youth workers support young people, cultivate school spirit, build positive relationships, do leadership development, and help plug young people into their community.
We're strongly focused on the local people working together for the young people in their local community with a local flavour.
Awesome, thanks for that. So yeah, as kind of mentioned in the video, you know, 24/7 youth work, it's a weave, it's a relationship, it's a trust between a local church and a local school. And in a nutshell, we come into schools and we call it presence-based youth work. So we don't come into schools to run a program. We don't come into schools to grow our youth groups. We come to be present in our school for Christian youth workers to come and be present in our schools. And we're all about relationship. We're all about connection. We're all about listening to our young people. And mentoring them and just being a positive figure in their life, because that's really needed, eh? And so one of the biggest questions I often get in the last 6 years is, what do you actually do? What does it look like? And so I've actually asked Nathan to come and prepare just to share a little nutshell of what he does in school, and I'll pass it over to you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Nate. I am Nathan Muirhead, aka Wally, as you may have seen from the outfit. Youth worker here at this parish, but also down at Burnside High as well. Thank you very much, Nate, for introducing, and Phil for coming along as well. It's a real privilege to be able to stand up here and to talk about 24/7 youth work. For those of you who kind of wonder what do we do, there's a lot of mentoring during class time, lunch times, hanging out, playing cards with kids, developing relationships, doing sport, coaching. I was wearing my Burnside High basketball hoodie just over there, and so there's a whole lot of different things that we get involved with in the life of the school. I want to share with you just one story today that kind of illustrates why I do youth work and kind of some of the things that we do while we're there. So towards the end of term 1, I was referred to meet a Year 9 Burnside High School student. For reasons of confidentiality, I will call them Jordan, not their real name. The first meeting with Jordan was a wee bit awkward because COVID had prevented us as youth workers to be introduced to the school, because no assemblies could have happened due to COVID. Suddenly the shy Year 9 was paired with a youth worker who they haven't seen before. And as you can imagine, the conversation began awkwardly as Jordan was probably thinking, why is there a 30-year-old something, where's Wally lookalike at my school? Why is he pulling me out during class? And am I in trouble? But after 10 minutes of conversation and some canteen food, we began to talk about the important matters of life. Baking. We both soon discovered that we had a soft spot for toasted sandwiches, baking cakes, and cookies. It was a great moment. As shallow as it seems, this conversation broke the ice for many conversations to come. Later in the year, I arrived at school for a catch-up, only to find Jordan was not in class. There was a mark beside their attendance that I didn't recognise. It was kind of normal at that stage to see students out because of COVID and the effects of that of attendance. However, the symbol was a bit unusual, and I had to go and ask one of the receptionists what it meant. Turned out the student had been stood down. There had been a fight, and so naturally I was keen to talk to Jordan about it when they were back at school. When we did, we talked face to face, and it turned out that something provocative had been said to the student. This person had ended up resolving this thing that had been said to them with a punch to the face, which, yes, landed them in trouble. So when I ended up having a chat to them and said, hey, has anything happened since? He said, yes, but I moved away. So my only answer was, well done for not punching them back in the face. That takes self-control. Good on you for moving away. Jordan's honest response was, yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. It was quite boring last time. So me, fair enough, but good on you for moving away. But also make sure you talk to your teachers if something like this happens again. Then we end up talking about something else, probably to do with cake. It was times like these, or times like those, that you kind of sit down and you think, it's kind of an odd conversation, but one in which we're trying to help steer youth towards making good decisions. Although I'm approaching my mid-30s and I don't know all the latest trends on Instagram, I find it hard to connect with some youth, I view the youth worker role as being really important. Our school was in a remarkable place. I say that genuinely, like Burnside High School is an amazing place. We've got some fantastic teachers, staff, and it's an amazing community to be part of. Yet schools also have got some great needs as well. At times, being a human, I guess all of us, we're all pretty human-like, right, is actually pretty hard. And then being a student, a teenager, navigating all the change that occurs within your body, your social groups, and in the world can be incredibly disorientating and difficult. So it's a massive privilege to be able to make a positive, to be able to be a positive presence within Burnside High School. And yet for me, it's not just kind of something that I'm like, yay, let's do this because it's good. It is really good. But I also think as a Christian, it's something that we're called towards as well. Micah 6, verses 7 to 8 states, will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I offer my firstborn for a transgression? Maybe Steve would, I don't know how Evan's going down the back. There we go. Good to hear. Watch out. The fruit of my body for the sin of my soul. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. And so I feel like it sums up really well what it is to be a presence-based youth worker. We're just simply there to be, to encourage, support, and to walk alongside of. Thank you very much also for your prayers and your support through that. Please don't stop praying for the school, for the staff. It's an amazing place to be. It's got its own set of challenges, but yeah, like it makes a real difference.
Hey, thanks, Nathan. That's really good. Yeah, so that's a little bit of what presence-based youth work is. Actually, just as you were sharing, I kind of remembered a bit of a story myself, which I've got the mic, so you can't stop me. You know, I've had many times in the last 6 years, probably you too, Nathan, where we're in school and we're just thinking, what the heck are we doing? Like, Nathan and I coach a basketball team. I don't know why. We're not great at basketball. For the last 6 years, I've coached the football team. And I don't know how I've done it for 6 years now. And I remember specifically, and I think it might have been my first year of youth work, I was coaching a group of boys at lunchtime, just thinking, you know, what am I doing? Like, why am I being paid to coach football and I'm not even a football coach? But it was during a lunchtime, and as I was coaching football, kind of just feeling these things, a young person that I knew came to me, and he obviously just looked off. And he said, Nate, hey, can I talk to you for a moment? And so, yeah, I'm like, sure. So I let my boys do their thing, and we just went over to a tree and we sat down. And this boy then started to say, hey, Nate, I just took a bunch of pills just to try to take my own life. And I'm feeling terrified, and I'm feeling scared, and I don't know what to do. And I just remember it was just this moment of, I still to this day, I just thank God that I was on those fields coaching football, not knowing what I was doing, but I was present, you know. And so we you know, I talked to this boy and brought him to the counselors, and we got him connected with the help he needed, and he's okay now, and you know, we're still friends on Instagram, and I've seen it, he's grown up, and again, I thank God to this day that I was there in that field, feeling like, what am I doing here coaching football? But actually, I was just simply being present. You know, and that's really what we do, right? We don't come in to fix anyone. We don't come in to have our own agenda and grow our youth groups or even necessarily evangelize or spread the gospel. We're there to be present. We're there to listen. We're there to see the needs around us. And how beautiful is that, eh? Isn't that just the gospel, that we could be people that are just present and around and just aware of the needs around us. And so yeah, that was a bit of a detour, but I really love what you shared, Nathan. Thank you for that. Just capturing that presence-based youth work. And so it's been an awesome 6 years for me and for our team. And again, we're real privileged to be in the school, to have a super amazing principal that supports us so much. And I really want to honor you, Phil, for that. I know Phil is the worst guy when it comes to compliments. You can tell he's just not his thing. He doesn't like to accept compliments. But Phil, you've been a massive part of allowing us to do what we do, you know, and especially in these last few years when funding has dried up and when, you know, even school funding has dried up and it's not easy. You've always backed us and you've always advocated for us, and I just want to honor you for that. So it's been a really great journey. It's been a challenging few years for all of us, right? And it's been a challenging few years for the school, for staff, for leadership, for students. And so continue to pray for us. You know, we have a lot of young people that are still lonely, that are still disengaged, that don't have belonging. And so please pray for us that we can be people that are present, that are aware, that are listening, that can pick up on the students that need someone to talk to. So yeah, thank you for this chance just to share. And yeah, bless you guys. Yeah, cheers.
Thanks, Nate, and thanks, team, for coming and sharing. And I want to echo what Nate said with your support you've given when we realized we needed a fifth youth worker. Because of the growing work. Phil said, leave it with me. I will find the money from the school point of view, and he found that somehow. Dig deep and managed to work out the budget and provided for the fifth worker. So that's great, and great that Sarah has put her hand up to come on the team as well. So Phil, come on up and just share with us, about the school, about the work, about your experience, and about the 24/7, So come on up, sir.
Adamari, thank you. I'm really humbled by what Nate and Nathan have just spoken in our youth worker team. So you can see the quality of our young people that we have in our schools. And we're very, very lucky. I just want to acknowledge them publicly because that's the first time our full team has been together. And we're going to introduce them again back to our staff on the first day back. They haven't heard about that yet. But I look around the room and there's so many connections with our school. I just name a few, if you don't mind. So we got Philippa, again, the music, and her father, her legacy, and a legacy of Alan Hunter in particular, what he has done to the school. I see parents here, and they all have some sort of connection. I see a staff member, Andrew, sitting on the far corner, so I'm very embarrassed to see what I say as I do that. But there's also one person, I just seem it's so poignant today that I've been invited, and thank you, Chris. I'm very humbled to be here. That is Ward Clark sitting in front of me. Ward gave me the opportunity 42 years when he employed me at Hillmorton High School and supported me to be the best teacher I could be and the opportunities. And I say that publicly, Ward, because I was hoping to catch up with him after I've announced my resignation. To have you here, I didn't know how it worked, but this is great, and both of you die. Thank you for both your support and what we've done. So for me, it's a wee bit about being humbled. 8 years at Burnside, another 19 years at Riccarton, of course 9 as principal, and then starting out at 13 years at Hillmorton, 42 years, if you like. So forgive me for sharing, but now this is my first public thing since I announced my resignation. It is time for me. But then I'm just so impressed by the young people in our schools. And if you look at Burnside High School, 2,400 students, 285 staff, one of the largest in New Zealand. It was at one time. And what it does for our community, and this the very large school, but within it is that whole value of excellence, personal excellence, and of course caring for others, and that balance between the two. And I hopefully get a sense that we can provide it, even though it's a very large school. As far as the support that we do have, is particularly needed over the last 3 years at least. We recognise that. We have 8 counselling staff. No other school in the country has that. We've made a commitment to supporting our young people, but it's supported by our youth worker team. And that balance and that between them is really important. Yes, I just want you to realise that we have the vast majority of our young people are outstanding young people. They're better than us when we were young. I tell you that. And what they do and what they carry on top of them was nothing like we did. And then we add COVID on top of that. Yes, there is significant issues, mental health issues, and just dysfunction and just pressure on families in our area. So therefore, the youth worker team are a vital cog in supporting that. And I take your time. I'm humbled by what you do. They have young faces. Even Nathan says 30, and he's calling himself old. Goodness me. Holy moly, I'm well old. Young faces, we've got young faces, we've got the fact that they're not teachers. Our students can actually feel more comfortable talking to someone that's not a teacher. The role models they have is the thing that I love most. Just being a good person is enough. Then listening to others and supporting them and mentoring the way they do. That's really important. Long may that continue. And I recognise I've been part of the 24/7 Youth Worker Network since it started, since its inception at Riccarton High School. And I'm proud to say I was part of that. That's over 25 years, and I've watched the youth worker program extend from a few schools to wider schools across our city to across the country. And that's the power, the influence this program does have. So Burnside's been part of it since 2007, so 15 years. The team that we've got now is fantastic, and it continues to grow in itself. So I won't go on about them, but I'll just say we're lucky. So what do they do? You've heard a wee bit about what they do, and that's on the one-on-one, the one-on-ones that our students need. But it's about building positive relationships. And it's not only with students either. They look after us, the staff. Those morning teas that they bake are pretty well welcomed, you know. Those little things that they make a difference with staff. And if we can look after them, the students do even better. So the role models they have, and they are making a difference. And it may be in a school our size, just with those few students. But those few students are really important. And the work they do to spread that influence is being part of the various things they do. Not only the one-on-one mentoring, they run small group sessions. They take sports teams. And it's all about belonging, wellness, and just building up people with their confidence and supporting them with their anxieties, a lot of them. And sadly, so many of our young people carry the burden of that. So for me, it's easy to support. Long may it continue. I really believe in the program. And Chris, as your chair of the transformational thing, it's great to have you and that relationship go. We need more. We need more to do with that. But I know it does come from a cost of the churches and the support that you've got, but hopefully the schools are starting to provide their support for it, because we know how important it is. I could go on about it, but that's not my role. So I just want to say on behalf of you all, thank you for the opportunity. And the work that Chris is doing is leading the trust that goes with it, support it, is making a difference. And if you've sensed that, and I just want to say publicly thank you to Chris and thank you for the team, and long may it continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. That was great. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of how the funding works. The 24/7 team is funded by 3 sources. The school funds 50% of each worker. So with a 25%. Oh, sorry. Yep, the school. Yep, my mistake. The school is 25%. The trust is 50%, and the local church is 25%. So that's how it works. And so, depending on which church the youth worker comes from, the church needs to raise 25%. So the Christchurch Community Church has 2 youth workers, and the Village Presbyterian has 1, and for us at the parish, we have 2 youth workers. And so, in other words, we would have to find 25% of the salary for the 2 youth workers. And so that's how it's funded. Bringing on Sarah means that there is a need to see the support increasing. And so part of this whole presentation is twofold. One, which is more important, is to pray. Pray for the school, pray for the 24/7 work, pray that they can make a difference, as Phil mentioned, and all of us know. The young people of today are facing a lot of stresses. Mental health amongst our young people is pretty low. People are struggling. And so it's such an important work the 24/7 team actually plays within the school setting. And the presence, being there, getting to know the young people, becoming someone that they can trust, can actually help many of the young people seek help before it's too late. And so supporting a team like that is important. And so pray for that work. Pray for what they're doing. But also, as we look at 2023 and supporting our 2 parish 24/7 workers, we need people who have a heart for the young people and for the work of the 24/7 to be willing to say, I would like to make a one-off contribution or a regular contribution to support the 24/7 work at Burnside High. And if you feel that you want to play a part in this in a small way, you can transfer money into our church account and to specify that it is for the 24/7 work, so that Nola, our treasurer, would know how to manage that. But we do really need to see that support coming in. And if that's something that you would like to be a part of or would like to talk to either myself or Nathan or Sarah or our treasurer, please do that.